Hello, Fit Pros. You guys, how good is that song? I love it so much. I get it caught in my head all the time. Say hello to me, you guys. Let me know that you're here. Hey, today we are talking about something that I'm super passionate about, and I might go on a little rant. I might have a little tear. I don't know. We'll see. I've got lots of notes to go over with you guys today. So, today we're talking about what is truly possible in your fitness career. So, over the last year, I've been working specifically with fitness instructors and personal trainers who are coming outside of the box, doing different things with their lives than they were for the past 10, 20, 30 years in their fitness careers. And we're starting to really find out what it can mean to build a career, not just have a little part-time job where you go off to the gym and do this thing. So this talk is really for fitness instructors who've been doing it part-time and earning a few $1,000s a year. This talk is also for personal trainers who have been either working a full-time job outside of the fitness profession in order to afford their careers in fitness, or those of us who are just coming into the profession and really trying to make it work, because a lot of the things that we have been doing pre-COVID didn't work in terms of making fitness a career. So that's what we are talking about today. And I'm going to get super passionate, especially in light of some of the things that are going on in the world right now. So, as you know, I need you to come in, say hello, let me know that you're here. Give me some hearts and some fire and some love. You guys, that really helps Facebook to understand that I am doing something that you guys love and appreciate, and then they show it to more people. So come on, give me the hearts and fire, give me the love. It's important for the show. It's also important for me. It feeds my heart and lets me know that you're here. So, hey, I'm Kelly Coulter. I created the Fit Pros show for you, to connect you to fitness industry information, to online business building resources, and to each other. How do I do this intro? I've lost it. So I'm Kelly Coulter. I am a 27-year-old. I'm a 47-year-old fitness professional. I've been in the fitness industry since 1994. I also worked full-time outside of the fitness industry to afford my career in fitness, and I did websites for 20 years. So when COVID happened, I knew I had something unique that you guys really needed, and I started the Fit Pro show to get fitness instructors online starting to make money again. That's my story. That's a little bit about me. Now, I coach fitness instructors and personal trainers full-time on how to really make this a career. How do you make this into a business that makes money, that allows you to quit your full-time job, that allows you to put money aside in the bank, that allows you to have financial freedom and time freedom and location freedom. All of the things that we dream about really are possible, and that's what we're talking about today. So, talked a little bit about who this talk is for. So this talk is for those of us who are looking for that next step, right? So many of us, we waited our 2 weeks, which is what we thought quarantines were going to be. Then we waited our 2 months. Then we waited our 6 months, right? And in California, gyms are still not open to full capacity. Are they even open? So many of us have been waiting for things to go back to normal, and we are starting to realize that's not going to happen. Even when the gym's open, we're not going to be back at full capacity. I don't know what will happen to group fitness. Group fitness has been a staple in the industry since the 80s. And with restrictions in capacity, along with the fact that we now understand our worth, we now understand how much the industry relied on us to support the clients that were coming in. My highest hope is that we are now more expensive. As fitness instructors and personal trainers, I now hope that we are more expensive. And I believe that it may make, if we play our cards right, if we stand up for what we are worth, that it makes group fitness a premium offering. So there are so many variables and things that could be happening with this industry that we love so much going forward. So this is for those of us who are looking and saying, what is the next step for me? How do I go forward as a fitness instructor? How do I go forward as a personal trainer? This is for those of us who believe that COVID was not the last disruption in our lives that's coming in this next couple of years. So I'm going to get a little, I don't know, controversial here. And you guys, you can agree with me, you can disagree. There is room for all opinions here. And I'm not going to get political, but I'm just going to say this. I believe we are in a time of disruption in our Western society. I believe that this is not the first time that our lives will be disrupted. And we're actually seeing that on the East Coast right now, right? We thought, oh, everything's going back to normal. And then what? Some kind of pipeline disruption. I don't even watch the news because I can't have that like filling up my brain, all that negativity all the time. But I know that we have huge disruption in our lives coming at us again, right? So it's for those of us who are going, there are things coming that are outside of our control. And what can I do to make sure that I'm controlling what I can control? It's for those of us who aren't sure we have a career in fitness, because now things aren't going to look the same when we go back, because now the capacity is going to be reduced, because now the group fitness schedule is going to be lower. There's not going to be as many classes because we can't work the tech, and we don't want to necessarily be working a microphone and a camera while we're teaching to a live class. Like, that's not our jam, to be broadcasting our classes that we're producing at the gym live in real time. It's for those of us who are like, there's got to be something else. I don't want to teach in a mask. I don't want to sanitize the floors and sanitize all the equipment every time I teach and not get paid anymore, right? All right. So that's who we are talking about. And that is all of us that are still watching, right? Why? Because we have to be able to see past this idea of things going back to normal. There's no more normal, especially for group fitness. It's true with personal trainers because we all walked around and touched equipment, right? But that can be mitigated to some degree. But with group fitness, I just don't believe there's any going back to normal. And maybe there shouldn't be. Because like I said before, I see there being a great possibility that group fitness becomes a premium level offering. And if it's going to become a premium level offering, wouldn't you rather be doing it for yourself? If you know you have to be the person who's able to charge $50, $100 a class, wouldn't you rather be making that money yourself than having the gym try to collect it for you? That's just me. There is room for everybody, and some of us might do both. So some of us might work for a gym and still do something on our own. But you guys know me, I encourage you to think about creating something for yourself. And so every time I start to think about the future of the fitness industry, that is where my mind goes. My mind goes because at the end of the day, I see this revolution of fitness instructors and personal trainers who go out into the world and work intimately with people that have the problem that they solve. And I see us as an industry really moving the needle on the obesity epidemic in this country, on health problems, on specific injuries. I really see us having the ability to go direct to client and work in a more effective, more efficient way than we were able to before. Okay, so we have to be able to see past going back to normal, right? The past, by the way, for group fitness instructors, you guys tell me if I'm wrong in the comments or tell me if I'm right. Wasn't that great? How much were you making? 25 bucks? 25 bucks for all the preparation, buying the music, buying the leggings, buying the shoes, driving to the gym, being there to greet your clients, serving 25, 50 people at one time, giving them all a great experience, staying to talk at the end, right? Doing whatever sanitization you were doing, and then leaving. How many hours is that? What were you making? Let's talk about it. Tell me in the comments, what were you making for a class? No pay. $15 an hour at one gym, $30 an hour at the city rec centers. The government tended to be able to pay a little bit more. And it's not the gym's fault. Nobody was making money. The gyms all raced to the bottom on the price because they thought that was the only way they could compete with each other. And then we were all paying we were all taking what we could get because we loved it, because we wanted to serve our people, right? Right? $35 max, 25 to 50 at Orange Theory Fitness. Yes. Yep. Okay, so no pay, right? No career trajectory. There's nowhere to go for a group fitness instructor. Pre-COVID, none of us saw, well, a few of us saw that we could go online and make more money, or that we could go direct to consumer. I was running a company that sent instructors and personal trainers to community centers and different places, and we did a revenue split. So I was able to do a little bit better than most instructors because I was doing a revenue split, and I was responsible for bringing all of those people in. And then the community center was also responsible. So we were splitting all of those responsibilities, bringing people in and then splitting the revenue. We saw some instructors going online, starting to build their offerings, starting to build their audience, and starting to go direct to consumer that way. We saw people going out to the parks, all the things that we're going to talk about in a minute. Those things were happening pre-COVID. So there was a way to make more money, but on a large scale, we weren't seeing it, right? It was not on the radar even. And what COVID did was sped up the trajectory of what already was going to happen with group fitness instructors and personal trainers by 10, 15 years. So COVID sped that whole thing up, but it was happening. But outside of going out on your own, there was no career trajectory. The only thing that you could do is become the group fitness director. Okay, so if you're watching and you, please comment. I want to hear this. Who here was a group fitness director? And tell me if that was a dream job. That was a lot of work. It wasn't a ton of money for the group fitness directors that I know that I've worked with. So then you thought, okay, maybe I'll be a presenter. Maybe I'll certify other instructors. But there just wasn't a really clear or solid path as far as being able to do the things that you might want to do with your group fitness or with your personal training skill set. So that's just another reason that it wasn't really a dream world that we are all, seeing as the good old days and going back to normal. It wasn't a dream world. Yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. But now, because we all had to go outside, think outside the box, we see a glimpse of what is possible. So I'm going to talk for a minute about what that glimpse is and what it means. And then I want to talk about some specifics. Yeah, and Liz says she was an assistant manager to a small gym and it was okay, but it didn't last, which was another thing. There, in the good old normal days, right? The days of back to normal or whatever, there was a lot of turnover. There was a lot of churn with fitness industry jobs. And that was a whole other piece of it, right? So I encourage all of us to think about ways that we can really take control of our future. Because of those reasons, because of the upheaval, because the good old days were not the good old days. I do. I encourage you to go out and see what is possible for yourself. If you got the guts, if you've got the leadership, right? I'm here. I'm here to help you with this. All right. So let's move on. So we saw a glimpse of what was possible. And then we've seen this in the last 18 months. The profile of of an instructor going direct to consumer without the front desk in the way has been lifted, right? We all now understand, like, people can work out from home and get a great workout. People can work out with an instructor online and get a great workout. And Peloton and Beachbody have helped us with that because they've put so many advertising dollars out there. They've put so much research and development into it. And I'm not going to belabor this point because I know you've heard me say it before, but Peloton and Beachbody are not our competitors. Peloton and Beachbody and Les Mills On Demand are all competing for the same 20% of the market that already has an existing fitness practice, because that's the only way that they can make their business model work, because they are large scale and they have to have lots and lots of subscribers in order to make it work. So they can go low cost and they can go out to a ton of people and make their business model work in that way. If they don't go out to a ton of people, as a matter of fact, their business model doesn't work. If they don't go out to people who have an existing fitness practice in some form or fashion already, they are not close enough to the sale, so their business model doesn't work. We are individuals looking to work with individuals. So Peloton and Beachbody and Les Mills On Demand are not our competitors, because we can speak to the 80% of the market that maybe doesn't have an existing fitness practice, or maybe has specific conditions or stages of life or injuries or goals that Les Mills and Beachbody and Peloton are not speaking to, because they can't. They have to stay with the people who have an existing fitness practice. So we can speak to the people that have an existing fitness practice plus the 80% of the market that is not being served by Beachbody and Peloton On Demand, right? Makes sense? You guys, doesn't that make so much sense? Doesn't that make you feel amazing when you think about it? The traditional fitness industry model in the gym and with Beachbody and Peloton, it leaves out so many millions of people. How many people have you talked to recently that said, I will go back to the gym when I lose 10 pounds? So there's all these people who think they can't go into the gym until they look like Jane Fonda in 10, or I don't know, whatever. What else? What other big fitness instructors have been in like movies and stuff? Anyways, let's move on. So there's so many people who have been left underserved or unserved. Not only the people who think they need to lose weight before they can go, but people who were immunocompromised, people who have specific injuries that maybe you know how to help them with, but right now they're laying out because they don't think they have any options. People who just had babies and don't want to put the baby in the nursery. People who have specific goals, like I'm getting ready for a very specific race. I have a friend, I don't know if she's watching right now or not, but she runs marathons. She's run a marathon in all 50 states. She's one of my accelerators. And she ran a naked half marathon a few weeks ago and posted about it. So maybe you're the person that helps people get ready to run a naked half marathon. I don't know. That is up to you. All right. So let me look at my notes here. So we don't have to compete against each other, and we don't have to compete against Les Mills and Peloton and Beachbody, right? We are our own thing, and we can go direct to consumer with our own thing. That is the magic of the point of time that we are in right now, because you are able to broadcast your message for free anytime you want. Jennifer says, way to go, naked half marathon. That's right. We have the ability to serve our clients in any way that we choose. We have the ability to evaluate where we have the highest value for our clients. We have the ability to evaluate what problem we answer for clients and where and how and what we serve them with, right? We can do all that. And that's not something that those big offerings are ever going to do. So we can get specific. They can stay big and general. We can grow our own audiences and serve our clients based on our own best attributes. And you guys, how good does that feel? Think about that. So I'm just going to say this, and I might get a little emotional, so I apologize. I'm already tearing up a little, but I spent 20 years doing websites, right? And it was always this thing to me like, I do websites. I got passionate about them sometimes. I was very into like the user experience piece. I really wanted to make sure that any website I was involved in was super usable, that people could find what they needed. But like as far as an industry and as far as like getting down into the nitty gritty of all the like marketing strategies or all the data, I don't know. It just like it wasn't truly my thing. I did it because it paid more than being an instructor. And when COVID happened, I made a pivot because I knew that I had a large group of instructors at Fit Pros Connect that weren't making any money. And so it was like this calling, like I had to, right? But now my life is like a freaking dream. Like I get up every day so flippin' excited to serve you guys. And that's what I'm talking about. You have the opportunity to find what that is for you and go do it, right? You have the opportunity to find what you are truly passionate about, how you truly help people, where you add the most value in this world, and go freaking do it. And that is incredible. So we have the opportunity to grow our own following based on our own best attributes. I knew I could talk, right? I knew I could tell you about online marketing. I knew I could tell you about the fitness industry. And those are like my best attributes. So I grew this thing based on that. And you have the opportunity to do that. You have the opportunity, I've been thinking about this term a lot lately, to become what I'm referring to as a specialized transformational coach. So some of us want to get back to teaching. And some of us might sit down after this talk and really think about it and say, okay, I add the most value as a yoga instructor. I love yoga. I've seen yoga change lives. That's what I'm passionate about. I don't want to go online. So I'm going to build some sort of business around doing yoga in the park. And I'm going to partner with the community center or whatever it is, right? So you get the opportunity to figure out where your highest value is, what you enjoy, what that schedule is that you want to teach. And you get to go do that. Some of us know that we've got more in us. Some of us know that we're the person that can train other people on how to go run a naked half marathon and feel good about it. And you get to become what I'm starting to call a specialized transformational coach, because you can take people from not having the confidence or the skills to run the naked half marathon to being able to run the naked half marathon. That is a special thing. And that is a transformation, right? You're taking them from the unemployed iron worker to the full Monty. What if your future is in working direct to clients? What if the future of the fitness industry is at least partially in working direct to client? That's what we're talking about here. What if group fitness in the gym setting became a premium level offer? What if working with you as a transformational coach, a specialized transformational coach, or as a group fitness instructor, what if working with you is a premium level offer? Imagine that. How exciting is that, you guys? All right, so I want to talk about 3 ways to start thinking bigger and more and differently about your future in the fitness industry. I want to talk to you about not waiting for things to go back to normal. There are too many people in this world that are waiting to be served with your fitness offer for you to be waiting for things to go back to normal. All right, so number 1, a need for you to think bigger. Need for you to think bigger than you have been. If you've been thinking that you're just going to go back to the gym, and maybe you're going to ask for a raise, maybe it's going to be $2 an hour, right? Think bigger. And I'm not talking about squeezing the gym for more money. I'm talking about what are other ways that you could add revenue. Maybe that means that when you go back to the gym and you say, hey, I'm willing to come back and teach, but I can no longer do it at $25 an hour. And what I think we should do is charge people $2 a class on top of their gym membership in order to come into group fitness. Like, I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm like spitballing ideas here, right? What if you go back to the gym and you say, I'm willing to come back, but by the way, I'm attracting 100 people to class every single time, and I want some sort of revenue share, or, I don't know. There's so many ideas, but you've got to think bigger. I don't want you going back to the gym and just saying, pay me $2 extra because I have to sanitize the floors now. No. As fitness instructors and personal trainers, we have not had raises since the 90s. So think bigger, because we know now what we are worth. We saw when quarantines happened, we saw how much people depended on this offering that we've put out to the world. Tell me if I'm wrong there. All right, so think bigger. I want you to think about the ages and the stages of the people that you want to work with. I want you to think about specific goals that you could help people attain. I want you to think about issues and injuries that you have special experience with that you could speak to. Go specialized, because when you go specialized, you can make more money. Think about things like taking your workout out to neighborhoods and teaching cul-de-sac workouts, putting together a workout truck and doing delivery workouts in the parking lots of corporate buildings or corporate parks, in wherever you can come to an agreement with the location, right? Think about doing specialized coaching like we talked about. Think about becoming a curator, right? I have accelerators that are completely building their business around just being an accountability coach to people who want to get fit. So they are not working out with their people at all. They are actually saying, okay, you want to work with me? You have to buy Beachbody On Demand. And they are affiliated with Beachbody On Demand, so they get a little bit from that. But they say, okay, you've got to buy Beachbody On Demand. And then I'm going to tell you which workouts to do every month. And then they have a meeting with them. So then it's like weekly accountability meeting. What did you eat? What did you, what workouts did you do? All the stuff. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little preview of something. I didn't plan on doing this, but I'm going to do it. A few weeks ago, Lumen sent me one of their devices. And so Lumen is this device where you blow into it and it tells you if you're burning fat or carbs. So it can be kind of like an accountability thing, because it's going to tell you what you're burning, and it's based on your workouts and what you've eaten, right? Here's the cool thing. It reports back to your coach. So I've got a Lumen coach who knows what I blew every day, each time I blew. So now I'm super accountable for what I eat, right? Because he's going to know. So Ryan is my coach. He'll come on. We'll talk about it on the show more. But that idea of being an accountability coach, there's so many tools out there that could help us with things like that now. So it's a real option for us to become health coaches and accountability coaches, especially if you've already got those skill sets in place. You've already got those certifications and those sort of things already in place. So I can't wait to bring you more information on that. But that's just a little bit about, the ways that you can be a coach and that we can keep each other accountable. I talked to a couple a few weeks ago that they do Apple Health Fitness coaching. So they get you to share your information on your Apple Watch. They teach you how to use it. And then they're just making sure that you're closing your rings and doing all your things so that you get all your benefit out of your Apple Watch and so that you're making progress in your fitness. Okay. I want to talk about numbers for a second. So most of us here, I'm looking at the list of people who have commented. Most of us here are fitness instructors or personal trainers part-time. I don't see any full-time personal trainers here that I know of. So that means that we were all making probably like, I don't know, $12,000 to $20,000 a year, right? Just from our career in fitness before COVID. When my accelerators come in, I like for them to have the goal to make $50,000 a year because I want them to 10x that investment in the accelerator. So let's just say that you were like, hey, I want to keep teaching 2-3 classes a week and I want to build a business around that and I want to make $50,000. I want to talk about the numbers for that for a second. Okay, so what that means is that I wrote it down here. If you have if you're charging $75 a month for your offer, so you're teaching 3 classes a week, you're doing maybe like an accountability session or something else, or you're just treating it as a premium offer because you're super freaking qualified and educated and you can do that and you've got great relationships with your people. So you're charging $75 a month. And then let's say each person, you sell them like something little extra every once in a while. So maybe you have like workshops, full moon ceremonies, dance parties, like whatever. So you do a little bit of extra with them each year. And so you get each person up to where if they're paying you $75 a month, that's $900 per client per year. If you get just a little bit extra there, then you can get them up to $1,000 a year, right? So let's assume that each client is $1,000 a year. Now you need 50 clients to make $50,000, right? So that's the way that works. That is doable, you guys. That is doable. If you build an ecosystem that has 200, 300, 400 people in it, you can build a $50,000 business from that. Do you see how that works? If you are charging $50 a month, then each client is worth $600 to you per year. So that means that you want 83 clients in order to make a $50,000 business out of just teaching. Now, I know those numbers sound really big, you guys, but think about this. What we're talking about is teaching 3 classes a week. So 3 hours of teaching and then business development on top of that. So we're talking about a business that might take 12 to 15 hours out of your week that you could replace your full-time income with. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So the number 2, I said number 1 was I want you to think bigger, right? And then I gave you some numbers around that and I gave you some ideas around that. I want you to think more long-term as well. So I onboarded my new group of accelerators this week and we went over the pyramid of what a business looks like. And at the bottom, you're doing like a lot of the work and you're not making as much money. And then in the middle, you can start to automate things. And then towards the top is what I called maturity. And maturity means that you're at the place where you can either fully automate this business, or you can sell it, or you can pass it off to your kids, right? Like those are the three reasons that we would ever be in business. You either want to automate it and retire, maybe just teach a little, or you want to pass it to your kids, or you want to sell it. That's it. At the end of the day, in 20 years, that's what you want to be doing, right? So thinking long term means that you're looking for that 20 years from now, what's happening with my business. But this is how you make that happen today. You ask yourself the hard questions. Who do I want to be working with? What do I want to be doing? How does it feel when I do these things, right? If you are building a business that is not fun for you, if you are building a business that feels like drudgery, then you've got to flip that. Because if it's not fun while you're building it, it's not going to be fun once it's built. So it's super important that it feels good now. So you have to think long term, but you have to act right now in a way that is satisfying and fun and fulfilling. Those two things work together. Every single day, I know you guys have heard me talk about me getting my shit together every morning, right? Because I get up and I like work on my mindset, and I work on like truly, how do I want to feel today? And then from there, I move forward in my day. Every day, you have to feel the way that you want to feel in your business. And then long term, it's going to grow. If it feels like drudgery, if it feels like misery, it's not going to grow, because your vibe attracts your tribe. So think long term, but act for today. Make it feel good every single day. And that brings me to number 3, which is put yourself first. So as you're building this business, as you're thinking about where do I add the most value? What do I want to be doing? How does it feel every day? And then how do I grow it? You're also thinking, what schedule do I want to teach? What schedule is right for me, right? So if you're teaching live online, you're not looking at what times can my people show up. You're looking at what time do I want to teach? And then I will attract the people that want to show up at those times. So times, formats, they have to be the ones that you want. It has to be fun and satisfying every day. Okay, so that's the 3 tips that I've got for you today. I hope that you got some ideas from that. I want to talk to you about the Virtual Studio Business Accelerator for just a second, because I've still got 2 spots that I want to fill in the Virtual Studio Business Accelerator coming out of this last boot camp. So that is my 12-month program where you come in and I coach you from being that gym employee to being a true fitness entrepreneur. It's not just for online fitness, it's for all kinds of fitness professionals. If you have taken my boot camp, you've heard me talk about it already. You've heard me pitch. I'm not going to pitch for you guys today. I'm going to tell you that people are freaking killing it and getting results and loving life because of the things that we do. I don't just talk to you about what you need to do to build this business. I talk to you about how to do it every step of the way. So if you are still sitting back and thinking, I really want to do that, but it's a commitment, it's an investment, those sort of things, but you still have questions, I just want to invite you to get on a call with me. So I'm going to type into the comments here. No, I'm not, because it's not going to let me. So I'll get in the comments and I'll make sure that there is a link so that you can make a questions call with me. And those are just 15 minutes calls. You can ask your questions about the Virtual Studio Business Accelerator. I am not going to pressure you. I don't do that. Ask anybody that's in the accelerator. I do not pressure people to join the accelerator. If it is right for them and they are motivated and they want in, they will do it, right? And that's the people that I want. So I want the people who are looking to make 50,000, right? And more. the six-figure businesses, the people who are really looking to make this move forward and need the how, need the support, need the mentorship, need the accountability. Oh my gosh. So Ashley said, I'm not even a week into the accelerator and it's been mind blowing. I'm so happy to hear you say that. That's great. So I just want to say that I've got 2 spots. If you've got questions, if you have been considering it, I want you to make one of those I want you to make one of those appointments with me and let's talk about it. Lonnie just put the accelerator or the questions. There it is. She put it into the comments. Click it, make an appointment with me. All right, you guys. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope this has been super useful. Love you guys so much. I will see you again next Tuesday. And until then, keep commenting, keep on participating in the group, and I look forward to seeing you.